Next up, we'll be looking at managing supplies in 390 work. And the reason why we have supplies is we want to be able to track and manage your consumables, which are your papers, batteries, your cleaning tools, or any other thing that you might have as supplies. These are different from raw materials for businesses that handle production. Supplies are also different from assets because assets are things that have a higher expiration date or can be managed and all of that. Supplies are really just consumables that are in between. And there's a quick definition here on that I've prepared that supplies are not for sale, they are not for production, but they are still critical to your business. And the definition here says that low cost operational items that are used to support your business, but they are not sold to customers or used in production. So examples of these are your stationery, your cleaning materials, your office consumables, and whatnot. So the whole point of this is you want to be able to document every single thing that is important in your business, top to bottom. And 390 helps you organize the assets, your supplies, your raw materials, intermediates, products, and so on. And this particular module is only for your supplies. All right. And the reason why we're doing this is we want to help you manage so you can track every single thing. Every supply has a cost, has inventory counts, can deplete. You can have more, it can deplete. You can get more of these things from your suppliers. So we want to track what we have, know when any of these items have gone down so we can issue a new stock. Okay, so we want to help us prevent waste and some really petty cash accountability also. Okay, so next we'll jump into supplies and see how that works on 390 work. So supplies can be found still under the resources section, and we have supplies here. And if you don't have access to it, just don't forget to go to the App Store. And here in the App Store, which might be best to rename that to activate modules. In this case, just go to supplies, and supplies is the first one. And you can just make sure any other members of your team can have access to it if you want, especially people who are creating purchase orders and stuff. Okay, so now straight to supplies, so we can then create one or two. So based on the example that I shared earlier, we say that there are stationery, pens, papers, and stuff. So let's just create one pen, one gloves, and one set of batteries. So I'll keep this add supplies to be able to create new. And don't forget, you can just click the help section that will take you to the supplies documents where we have all of the items or lists or instructions listed on how you can carry out supplies, all of these actions on your end, step by step, broken down. Okay. And the next thing is we should look at supplies settings. And the settings here is where you define the units of the supplies that you might have. And the common units can be kg if you deal with some supplies like that, and let's say pieces. And I think we could also use packs depending on what kinds of supplies you have, just different units as you'd like. In categories as well, we have 3 categories based on what we have here: stationery, cleaning materials, and office consumables. So let's just do stationery. Then I think the next one should be cleaning materials. Then the last should be office consumable. Let me just say, yeah, office consumable or consumables. Okay, so now we've created 3 categories and you can create as more as you like. So straight to supply, we just come to click the add supply button. And now we can then type the name of any supply. So we have pen, paper, and staplers. So I could just say pen, and depends on the cost of the pens that you have. If there's a particular variant of pen that you have in the business, you could just list that there, and I can call out the stationery. Then the price, let's say, is 1,000 naira for one. Then pieces. All right, I can leave this, add another checkbox so that this pop-up will stay on. So now the pen has been added, then the next one would be, let's go to gloves. And let's say this is under clean materials. Let's keep this as 2,000 naira. And this is also in pieces. Then the last one in this case is batteries. So let's say batteries, depending on the types of batteries you might be using. And this is not the battery you use for if you are in a smart home or solar energy. These are not the batteries that you sell. These are the batteries that are supplied in the building, part of consumables in this case. So let's say each of that is 3,000. Okay, and we can have pieces for that as well. So I can then add the supply. So we have the three supplies here, and this just really helps us to, the real purpose is we want to keep track of the quantity of each of these things in the business. And we should also have a section here that would say analytics to also give you the cost of all of the analytics for your supplies. So I'm going to jot that down. So we should be able to work on that as well, so you can easily see the cost of all of these things as you want. So how does this work? The most important thing here would be the inventory, which is 0 right now. This video is just to create the supplies. When we get to the inventory video for supplies, we'll be able to create an inventory location and then add the supplies there. So we don't do one-on-one mapping. So which means we just don't say batteries are in one location. On 390, you can have batteries, for example, in different locations, let's say in the office and the store, let's say in the factory as well. And that same battery can move from the office to the factory, from the factory to the store. And we don't tie a battery to a particular location. So in 390, we map these things. So you see the inventory parts when we are dealing with the inventory. So this video is just to be able to create this. You can't create different variants. So this should only be there. This variant should only be there. And you can add additional information of this battery here internally so that everybody can see that, okay, this are the additional information of all of that. All right. So this video is just really to define these supplies. You can jump to the inventory video if you want to see how to add these supplies in an inventory location as well. Then in the further iterations of this, we should be able to help you track the movement of those supplies from one to the other, but you should be able to see that as well in the inventory video. All right, thank you.